Hunger strike began 2 hours east of Paris. Saladin took a single dignity whip of the open cat food tin and turned up his nose. "Come on, Saladin," coaxed 14-year-old Amy Cahill. "Here's your dinner. It's a long way to Venia." The Egyptian mouth intimidated a hang-tea snort that was a clinic in non-verbal communication. "You got to be kidding me. He used red snapper," Amy said apologetically to Nellie Gomez, the Cahill's au pair. Nellie was unmoved. "Do you have any idea how much fish costs? We got to make our money fast. Who knows how long we'll be running around looking for these precious clues of yours." Saladin let out a disapproving Dan Cahill, Amy's 11-year-old brother, looked up from the page sheet music he was examining. "I'm with you, dude. I can't believe we had to take the slowest train in Europe. We gotta get moving. The competition has private jets. We're wasting time on Loser Express. Are we gonna stop in every podunk town in France?" "No," Nellie told him honestly. "Pretty soon it will stop in every podunk town in Germany. Then every podunk town in Austria. Look, it was cheap, okay? I didn't agree to babysit you guys on this quest. I'll pair us on this quest." Then admitted, "Just have you drop out halfway through because you blew all our cash on Snapper and expensive train tickets." She concluded, "We really appreciate your help, Nellie." Amy told her, "Could never do this without it." Amy was still dizzy from the whirlwind of past 2 weeks. Prominent orphan, next to part of the most powerful family the world has ever known. An unbelievable twist for 2 kids who had been palmed off an uncaring guardian who in turn palmed them off on a series of au pairs. Now they knew the truth. They were relatives of Benjamin Franklin, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and more geniuses, visionaries, and global leaders. We're nobody. Suddenly we have a chance to shape the world. All thanks to the contest their grandmother Grace had set up in her will. Somehow the secret of the chaos centuries, all the power had been lost. A secret that could only be found by assembling 39 clues. Those clues were hidden all around the globe. So this was a treasure hunt. But what a treasure hunt, spanning oceans and continents, with nothing less than world domination as the prize. Yet high stakes meant high risks. The rivals will stop nothing to defeat them. Already there have been Castellis. There will probably be many more. Amy regarded Dan in the seat opposite her. 2 weeks ago, we were fighting over TV remote. I couldn't seem to get through to Dan how weird it all was. Her brother saw nothing unusual about belonging to the strongest, most influential family in history. He accepted it without the question. After all, it said great things about it. He saw no drawbacks of being a high roller in the scheme of things. The poor kid was only 11, no parents, and now even Grace was gone. All the excitement over the contest, he had hardly mourned the grandmother's death. Still, Grace was the one who had started them on this dangerous roller coaster. Sometimes Amy didn't know what to feel. She shook her head to clear it and focused on her brother. He was scouring the sheet music, looking for hidden markings or secret writing. "Can you look?" Amy asked him. "Zillick," he told her. "Are you sure the Mozart dude was a Cahill? Ben Franklin hardly blew his nose without planting a code message in Kleenex." Amy rolled. "This is nothing but boring music." Amy rolled her green eyes. "This Mozart dude, were you born a dweeb, or did you have to get a diploma, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is considered the greatest classical composer who ever lived. Right. Classical. Boring. Musical notes correspond to the letters A through G. Nelly mused, maybe there's a message that way. Been there, done that, Dan reported. I even tried unscrabbling the letters. In the case the words were anagrams, face would almost get killed for a clue that isn't really a clue. It's a clue, Amy insisted. It has to be clues. 39 of them. Never before had a contest held so much promise or so much danger. With ultimate power hanging in the balance, the deaths of two American orphans were barely a footnote. But we didn't die. We found the first clue after the teacher's obstacle through the first life of Benjamin Franklin. He was convinced that Mozart was the key to the second. The answer lay at the end of the railroad tracks in Vienna, where Mozart had lived and composed some of the greatest music of all time. Could only hope that the competition wouldn't get there first. I hate Franks, muttered Hamilton Holt, chuckling at a tiny hamburger in his massive band. It's like the whole country is on a diet. Holt stood at the lunch counter at the small railroad station 30 kilometers east of Dijon, France. They hoped to pass for an American family on vacation, but they looked even more at the offensive line of a football team, and the twin daughters were no older than them. Eyes on prize, Ham, Eisenhower Holt reminded his son. When we find the 39 clues, we can kiss these starvation raisins goodbye, need some all-you-can-eat buffets back in the States. But for now, we got to catch up with those Cahill brats. Madison took a bite out of her own lunch and made a face. There's too much mustard. This Dijon stupid, her twin Regent told her. This is the mustard capital of the world. Madison sucker punched her in the stomach. The blow would have stopped a rhino in its tracks, but the Regent just stuck her tongue out definitely. It took a lot of damage to a Holt. Quiet, girls, Mary Todd, their mother, admonished fondly. I think I hear the train. The family watched as the ancient diesel engine lumbered into view. Madison frowned. I thought trains in Europe were supposed to be fast. They're tricky, those chaos, just like the parents, her father replied. They took the last train we'd suspect to find them on. Okay, formation, the family used to Eisenhower's coaching lingo. He might have been kicked out of West Point, but that didn't mean he was a great motivator, and nothing motivated the Holts to get even with their uppity relatives. The contest was the chance to prove they were as kale as any of them. They will be the first to find the 39 clues, even if they had to chomp the others into coleslaw to make it happen. They scattered, disappearing into the woods beyond the station. The slow train chugged to a halt at the platform, and a few passengers disembarked. The conductors and station porters were too busy unloading luggage to notice the Bailey family of 5 climbing into the rear car. The Holts were aboard. The enthusiastic coaches worked their way forward. The plan was to avoid attention, but that wasn't easy for the king-sized Holts. Shoulders and knees were jolted. Feet were stepped on. Dirty looks were exchanged along the mumbled curses in several different languages. The third car had him until a swinging elbow knocked the woman's head off, causing her to drop a birdcage in her lap. The carrier clattered to the floor and startled the parakeet inside, struggling and flapping its wings in agony. 6 rows ahead, this brought Salton scumbering up the seat back to investigate. And Amy looked to see what was bothering the cat. The ho-ho moments of stress always brought out her stammer. Halt! Dan breathed in alarm. Luckily, the parakeet owner scooped to rescue the cage, blocking the aisle. Dan quickly shut Sheldon and she moving into overhead luggage bin. Come on, lazy. Eisenhower grumbled impatiently. Then he spotted Dan. The wingman plowed right over parakeet owner. Dan grabbed Amy by the hand and fled for the opposite end of the car. Nellie kicked a backpack into the asa in front of Eisenhower's running feet, and he belly flopped onto the floor. Excuse me, monitor, Nellie said in perfect French, reaching to help him out. Eisenhower batted her hand away. Out of options, she sat down, pressing her full weight between his shoulder blades. What are you doing, you crazy forgetter? That's no forgetter, Dad, Hamilton effortlessly plucked the owl pair off his mother and tossed her into her seat. That's the kale brat's nanny. I'll scream, Nellie threatened. Then I'll throw you through the window of the train, Hamilton promised. Spoke so matter-of-factly there was a little doubt he was both wailing and able to exactly that. Eisenhower scrambled to his feet. Keep her on ice, Ham. Don't take your eyes off her for a second. He charged away, leading the stampede of Holt's predators in pursuit of prey. Amy and Dan had already made it through the conductor to the restaurant car, the rest between diners, dodging steaming plates of food. Dan risked a backward glance. The enraged features of Eisenhower Holt filled the window of the pass-through. He nudged a waiter and pointed. See that guy? He said you put steroids in a soup. Amy grabbed her brother's arm and fixed him with fearful eyes, hissing, how can you joke about that? You know how dangerous they are. Cleo scrambled through the hatch and burst into the next car. Tell me about it, Dan said nervously. I wish I could fit a luggage bin like Sheldon. Don't have security on this train. Surely France has a law against 5 Netherlanders picking on a couple of kids. Amy was horrified. Can't talk to security, can't risk anybody asking questions about who we are and what we're doing. Remember, social services is still looking for us in Boston. She threw open the door before it passed through and pushed Dan in ahead of her. It was the mail car. Hundreds of canvas bags were piled everywhere, along with packages and crates, all shapes and sizes. Amy then began to stack boxes in front of the hatch. His sister understood instantly. They worked together to build a barricade of parcels, wedging the topmost of freeze-dried ham under the door handle. Then tried to deliver, didn't budge. A flurry of shots came from the adjoining car. The Holts were almost upon them. Amy and Dan made a break for the forward passage, dodging mailbags. Amy stepped into the conductor and reached for the hatch to the next coach, locked. She pounded on the scratched glass. Beyond was a clear lounge with couches and cots all empty. She banged out there. No response. They were cornered. Across the car, Eisenhower's granite face appeared in the window. The whole train seemed to shake as he slammed his shoulder against the door. They're our cousins, Amy reasoned uncertainly. They'll never really hurt us. They almost left us buried alive in Paris. Then shot back on the floor. He pulled a hockey stick wrapped in brown paper. You can't be serious. At the moment, Eisenhower took a running leap at the door. The teeth-churning crash. The hatch splintered loose and slammed into the Dan. The boy went down hard. The stick clattered to the floor. Damn! Blinded by rage, Amy snatched the stick and broke it over Eisenhower's head. The wingman absorbed the blow, wobbled and collapsed down on a mailbag. Dan sat up amazed. Knockout. Victory was short-lived. Holtz stormed the car. Madison grabbed Amy by the collar. Raging yanked Dan upright. They were caught.